The selected ones must now confront the reality, even if they believed you were dead. Those evildoers and all those unseen powers believed you were apparently done. However, they quickly came to the conclusion that they were mistaken. With an unidentified ability, you have come back, reincarnated, and risen to give them a true lesson. Dark thoughts and betrayal will now be revealed. And the day when everything will change is drawing near. In your hands lies the power. Nothing can stop you. So write 222 in the comments right now. They were unaware of the tempest they were calling in when they rejected you. Your ascension's energy is unstoppable, like a rising wave. Once disregarded, you are now an unstoppable force. They feel the weight of their error with each fresh discovery, which sweeps them down like a tidal wave. The further they sink, the more obvious it is that they were mistaken. Now, the whole globe is standing with you. They are little but persistent reminders of their lost opportunity, and they hurt like paper cuts as rumors of your growing spread. The facade they created is being eroded by every word that is spoken about your metamorphosis. They ignored you, but now you shine too brightly to be disregarded. Those who formerly questioned you are now drawn to you because of your shining presence. But for them, remorse is encircling them more tightly every day, and it seems like the darkness closing in. Your essence now dominates the area it resides in, much like the sun rising after a long, dark night. Once concealed in the darkness, it now radiates an indisputable brightness, and its warmth is unavoidable. There was a time when people passed by without realizing the brightness inside of you. However, they are now unable to resist your energy's draw. You seem to be attracting them with an irresistible power, much like a magnet. However, it's too late. They had their opportunity, but they lost it. You have entered the totality of your identity, unwilling to shrink anymore. You're no longer willing to conceal your abilities. Those who formerly questioned you are now feeling the weight of what they missed as you climb. Every reverberation of your presence hits them with the indisputable fact. They rejected the most precious of presents. When it was in front of them, they didn't identify the riches. Now lost, unrecoverable. But you don't back down. They cannot lower your light because it is too bright. Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. You have turned into the very thing they undervalued and were oblivious to. They are now left to marvel as your light lights the road you were always intended to take as you walk in the fullness of your mission. People flock to your rising brightness like moths to a flame. Turning away from it is impossible. They sense the tug of your energy, and now they are watching, bearing the burden of their own remorse, despite the fact that they previously deserted you. They now understand that they will never again see what they didn't notice before. Now, their bodies betray them, as if every strand of their existence is attempting to convey the misery they are unable to escape. Your name causes their migraines to pulse in time, reminding them of what they used to have and letting go. The notion of what could have been makes their stomach churn. Because of their previous choices, every muscle hurts. It becomes difficult to rest. They can't even go away when they're sleeping. They are dragged back in time by the dreams, reliving times when they were blind to what was really in front of them. Their body seems to be attempting to convey to them the entire magnitude of their loss. Their body is now collecting on that spiritual balance, because the cosmos, in its infinite wisdom, has a method of ensuring that no obligation is left unpaid. Their bodily suffering is a mirror of the inner anguish they have not yet resolved. Every soreness and indication of fatigue is evidence of the price they paid for their decisions. They are shattered by the results of their own inability to perceive what was in front of them, not by the deeds of others. The reality they have been ignoring is being echoed by their bodies. If divine love is abundant in your heart, Now is the moment to share it. Click the Super Thank You button on YouTube and donate $20 or more to help spread God's blessings. Through this platform, this wonderful gift will impact not only your life, but also the souls of countless others. Your giving will be the result of our prayers, and every one of you has a special position in God's larger plan. Take immediate action. You were made to do much more under God's tender care. Therefore, spread your blessings to exalt His kingdom. God bless you. Every instance of misery is indisputable evidence of what they did. They realize now that you were the rarest of gems. Maybe too late. Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. They ignored the priceless jewel that was just in front of them and instead wasted their time looking for something they would never be able to duplicate. They now realize that what they disregarded is irreplaceable. No amount of seeking will be able to retrieve the prize they let escape from their grasp. They've gone crazy, and the understanding hits them with a force that is greater than any suffering they have ever experienced, like a knock to the chest. What used to be a brief period of indifference now consumes them for the rest of their lives. They didn't realize that you were something they would never be able to replace. You are a unique individual who cannot be duplicated in your essence. This is now painfully obvious to them. The brightness you radiated and the enthusiasm you provided were incomparable to four persons. Despite being well aware of this reality, they continue to let it slide through their fingers. They can't get the memory of what they may have had out of their heads. The little gestures of generosity, the epiphanies, the assistance they never quite understood. Every time they think about these little yet impactful actions, they now feel like they are being sliced apart. These recollections are unavoidable. They serve as reminders of the things they overlooked and disregarded. They turned aside to pursue illusions, even though the wealth was clearly visible and glowing brilliantly. Those delusions have now disappeared into thin air, leaving behind nothing but desolation. They have an empty void inside of them that will never be filled. Every thought and every moment forces them to confront the truth of what they have lost. If you sense God's presence, you may join the first selected ones and get the most significant revelations first by clicking the Join button below. What may have been a once-in-a-lifetime relationship has turned into an irreversible wound, a connection they did not uphold. And now, all they have left is sorrow. You grow while others fall in the face of their own decisions. You change. You grow above their wildest expectations. The difficulties that once threatened to shatter you have instead made you into something amazing and unbreakable. You have changed into something unique, dazzling, and indestructible, like a lump of coal that has been fired and compressed under extreme pressure. The very laws of nature are defied by your fortitude and tenacity. You are becoming the best version of yourself, something that no one can take away from you. You are not only existing. You are a live example of the grandeur that comes from conquering hardship, standing in the fullest of your abilities. Every connection is guided by your emotional intelligence. Every choice you make is influenced by your strategic thinking. Problems are solved by your inventive talent in ways that others could never have predicted. Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. You have developed, enhanced, and perfected these innate skills to a degree that is beyond common comprehension. Others cannot see what you see. Others dismiss the realities you hear. You can see more clearly than ever before. You have developed a keen sense of intuition and are able to see through the delusions that previously affected your judgment. You can see dishonesty from a distance, long before they become completely apparent. You may feel changes in energy. In addition to providing safety, this gift acts as a guide, enabling you to see your way more clearly than before. Your spiritual metamorphosis is reflected in the bodily changes you've experienced. The work you've done on the inside is reflected in your self-assurance, the power in your voice, and the calm that emanates from you. Before they ever see you, they sense your presence. There's no denying that they feel the authority you exude. Every aspect of your existence now reflects your metamorphosis. You're far from done. Even you are amazed at how quickly you are growing. Every day offers fresh perspectives, skills, and levels of comprehension. The world is watching in wonder as you continue to go higher and higher on a route that is speeding more quickly than it has ever done. Those who left now realize what they were missing. It's too late by then, however. People will gravitate toward you as your vibe continues to change. The folks who are supposed to accompany you on your trip are the correct ones. As the universe adjusts to your frequency, they will show up at the ideal time. You will now be presented with opportunities that you previously believed were unattainable. This is only the start. They believed they could avoid the consequences of their behavior. But suddenly, it slams back with all of its might. The sound of your ascent echoes around the world as people delve deeper into their own misery. They are followed by their humiliation. But your name floats in the air, stirring wonder and then wonder. The murmurs that started out as silent speculations have turned into booming declarations, a chorus proclaiming your ascendancy. Now, it is undeniable. Their own gloomy cloud of remorse just becomes bigger, as your brightness becomes indisputable. People are now praising, even reverencing you everywhere. People are amazed at how you've changed into something remarkable, that has not only changed, but flourished in spite of everything. Those who formerly disregarded you are now compelled to acknowledge the indisputable fact that their decision to do so was their worst error. Each detail of your ascent pierces their meticulously constructed shields, leaving them reeling from the repercussions of their deeds. And the more they hear, the more intense the agony becomes. They can no longer overlook the ways in which their bodies betray them. Their increasing awareness causes migraines to pulse in time. As they become aware of what they have let go of, nausea roils and they feel as if the whole world is bearing down on everything they do. The enormity of their own sorrow has frozen them, and sleep, the one thing they always sought solace from, now eludes them, leaving them with nothing but endless nights of regret. As they eventually go off to sleep, they are met with more intense and merciless dreams. The weight of their deeds lingers, but they wake up gasping as the vision of your genius fades from their consciousness. Despite their best efforts, the weight of their spiritual debt is reflected in their body. No amount of resistance can stop the cosmos from extracting its payment. I pray that God would provide you peace today, my brothers and sisters. Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. I'm here to remind you of something very important. Unaffected by the world's fleeting worries, our life is based on God's divine design. According to the Bible, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Our roots are firmly established in God's global truth, much like those of the enormous oak tree. His might secures every move we make and every stance we take. And the chance to share in that benefit is now being extended to you. This movement will come back to you 100-fold in abundance when you contribute $100 via the Super Thank You button. As their soul deteriorates, so does their bodily shape. They feel empty as the tension they've been carrying seeps into their bodies. The most obvious reality they are unable to avoid is the weight of their previous decisions, which were earlier written off as unimportant. There is nowhere to go from the mirror of their own bad choices, and their body, like a damaged vessel, testifies of the turmoil inside. Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. In its boundless wisdom, the cosmos has started summoning them to cosmic judgment. Additionally, every unpleasant symptom acts as a reminder of their decisions. Now they can see what was always there, and it's a painful but indisputable reality. They neglected to value the treasure that you were. The precious diamond they abandoned in search of something transient. They now understand that they will never find someone like you, no matter how hard they look. They no longer have access to what they might have. They are left with nothing but the echoes of what could have been, as the wealth that was once in their line of sight slipped through their fingers. Every recollection of you, every act of generosity or encouragement they previously took for granted, now stings like a knife. They are constantly reminded of their failure by the weight of what they let to slip away. And it won't return no matter how much remorse or longing. You couldn't be replaced. The hard reality must now be faced by them. They can't duplicate your contribution. Nothing compares to your spirit, your soul, and the special traits that shaped who you are. They did not come to this knowledge easy. It's an agonizing realization that shatters their delusions and leaves them with nothing more than the understanding that what they previously disregarded cannot be recreated. They now realize that the area you occupied could never be filled by four individuals together, and they are no longer able to dispute that fact. If you sense God's presence, you may join the first selected ones and get the most significant revelations first by clicking the Join button below. Their biggest cause of suffering today is the memory of you, those peaceful times, and the ways you helped them without expecting anything in return. The insight you imparted, the love you showed. They now have to bear the scars from all they were unable to enjoy. The gift they missed, the treasure, was in front of them. However, they decided to ignore it. The only thing that remains for them now is the shadow of what could have been. You keep growing while others become smaller under the burden of their remorse. You soar where others fall short. You've changed in ways they didn't anticipate, and you have only grown stronger as a result of the same difficulties they believed would shatter you. You have evolved into something more than they could have ever dreamed. An unquestionable force of nature. You have been shaped into something unbreakable, like a priceless jewel forged deep beneath the ground, in the furnace of life's hardships. You have been shaped into something strong and brilliant, under fire and pressure. Once, you were a basic element under tremendous strain, much like coal. However, your actual value has suddenly surfaced, much like a diamond. Additionally, your resilience has been molded by life's challenges, giving you an unbreakable strength that is like a diamond that cannot be broken. You become stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for the trip ahead as a result of every adversity. The hardships of life did not define you. Rather, you fueled your progress with them. Your metamorphosis was a whole development of your soul, not only a shift in your situation. You have acquired a multitude of skills, insights, and abilities that distinguish you from others who may have settled, absorbed only one lesson, or perfected a single ability. You are capable of moving through this world with elegance and ease, resolving issues with ingenuity and insight, much like a master artisan with a variety of tools at their disposal. You've mastered several different fields and are able to use any obstacle as a chance to improve. You are now confident as you go down this route. You don't try to be there. It comes naturally from you. Before you even speak, people can sense your enthusiasm. Because it embodies the inward metamorphosis you've experienced, your entire existence demands attention. People are drawn to your inner tranquility and quiet strength, because it is obvious to them that you are someone who has managed not only your surroundings, but also your spirit. They feel compelled to be impacted by your presence. You are a living example of what occurs when love, perseverance, and divine energy come together to create a genuinely remarkable human being. Not because you try, but just because you are unique. You have a captivating presence. The energy changes as you enter a room. The air feels electric when you talk. Because they can sense that something strong has taken root inside of you, people are attracted to you. And it's heavenly power, not simply power.